Okay, I have a breakdown. I've got a plan, which is surprising. And so the first thing we're going to do is do 5 minutes of adding others. So what we're going to do for this is 5 minutes either adding people on Instagram, adding people on Facebook. And if you guys were on the diamond call, sorry, this might be like redundant, but Jenna, I don't think Jenna has done a power hour before. There she is. Jenna, you haven't done a power hour before, correct?
I have not.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to walk you through what we do. And so Jess and Amanda, if you just drown me out, that's fine too. But 5 minutes started the timer. So we're adding people. You can do this one of two ways. I personally, on Instagram, I go to an account I really like. My account I go to actually like 90% of the time is a boutique I like. Sorry, my dogs are freaking out. There's not even anyone. Oh, the dogs, the neighbor dogs are running outside again. So they're in their yard. I hope that I brought my dog's toys in. Oh my gosh, I need to be right back. I need to make sure that I brought my dog's toys in, or they're gonna be so mad if they get stolen. Add people while I'm gone. Okay, sorry. Woolsey, like dogs run everywhere in Woolsey. Like it's a community festival. We all let our dogs run around. But I have probably spent $50 on dog toys because every time I buy a dog toy and forget it outside, another dog steals it. So how I add people is that I personally go to like a boutique I really like, and I'll go to one of their posts and I will just like look at people who like I use Shop Cowgirl Crush because to me that's like my market, like Western women. And I just go through and I will look at their profile, see if there's someone who has posts, see if there's someone who maybe I can resonate with and connect to, and then I follow them. And so that's what I do. You can also do it on Facebook. I tried last night. I felt challenged to go on Facebook and add 10 new people. I aim for 10 people on Instagram, 10 people on Facebook, because I could mass follow, but it's like, I don't need to follow 50 people a day. I need to follow like my 10 people. We're about halfway through. Hey, Peyton. We are just finishing up. We just started. We are finishing up our 5 minutes of following new people, and then we're gonna move on. So you hopped on at a good spot.
Perfect.
Sorry for my dogs. They're going psycho because those dogs are in our yard, and I think they're gonna break through the glass on my door. Okay, that is our timer. So we had our 5 minutes of adding others. It's good to keep track of these. And I suggest if you're sitting down to work a power hour, set timers like this because it forces you to do one thing and move to the next. Because I could sit here all day and add people because that's easy. Like it takes no like putting yourself out there, super simple. So I suggest setting timers so you can't just do the easy things. Next up, we are going to do 5 minutes of connecting. Okay, 5 minutes of connecting. How I personally do this, the timer has started. I go to stories. I like to, hey Jess, nice post. I just thought that's from when we were, stop, be quiet, phone. What I like to do is I like to do it on stories because it goes right into their inbox, which is if you comment on their post, that's good too. I do that sometimes too, but I found it's better if you do stories. And one thing we talked about in our diamond call the other night, which was nice, was like, if you think something, just say it, right? Like, do you ever watch stories and you like wonder about something, or you're like, oh, like that's cool, or oh, I never knew that. Just like message them. It could be a quote and you're like, oh my gosh, like I haven't even, or I try to always like, this girl has a little text box asking a question, like I'm going to put my comment in there. Like I'm going to interact with them because I want them to interact with me. So just go through stories and try to interact in any way possible. Hey, Sarah, thanks for having on. We are working on connecting right now. We've got about a minute and a half left of connecting with people on stories. Another tip for people who are hopping on, and maybe this is their first power hour, is when you're doing connecting on stories, like if you see, like, for example, my friend Steph from Canada, like her stories are popping up. I'm going to swipe through those. I don't need to, like, here's Jenna's story, swipe. I'm not concerned about what Jenna did right now. Like I can look at those later when I'm just scrolling. Our main goal is we want to connect with people who could be potential challengers and building those relationships. So don't get stuck in watching everyone else. And you get bonus points if you ask a question. Because then it obviously starts a conversation more so than them just liking the post. Okay, that was 5 minutes. Next, what I want to do is take 5 minutes of going in and cheering people on in your challenge group. So this could be your personal challenge group. This could be our big challenge group, but just spend 5 minutes going in and doing that. Oh no. Sarah, I just saw your text. I will send you, I have an extra gold scoop because, so it's funny, I contacted customer service because it said 24 months of Shakeology I've gotten, but I didn't get the 365 or the whatever. So I contacted customer service and so they sent me a box. Well, turns out I didn't have 12 consecutive months. Like I had 24 months, but not consecutive to get the 365. So then I got it again. So I will send you my extra gold scoop. Sarah texted me. I asked her to send me a little write-up so I could post about her being a 365er. And her dog broke her gold scoop while she was texting me. I'm like, oh, what a brat. That'd be something that my little, he looks like such an angel laying there, but he's a little demon dog. Okay, setting the timer. 5 minutes, cheering people on in challenge groups. I want to talk a little more on recognition too, because maybe you're someone who's like, I've already done, like I kind of, when I'm home, anytime I'm just scrolling on Facebook, I try to go in and cheer people on. But the other ways you could do this too, recognition, cheering people on, is sharing on your stories. I've been trying to really be focused on asking people how they're feeling, asking people questions, and then screenshotting it, putting it on as client testimonies. Or like today, when Rebecca, she posted her before and afters, I just messaged her and I'm like, hey, can I use these? And I said, I don't have to tag you if you're not comfortable in that. And she's like, no, please tag me. Like, and if you want to, like, if you want me to answer some questions, I can, you know, so definitely I'm trying to do more stuff like client testimonies to show people like I'm not the only one raving about this, like real human beings, I'm a real human being, but whatever, like it too.
Say it again.
Hi.
Hi, Liz. What are you doing? Are you watching TV?
Yeah.
Are you taking care of mommy? Are you mommy's nurse today?
Yep. She constantly tells me, you puke in the toilet, you poke in the potty. Yes,
Yep.
I do, honey.
Better than puking somewhere else.
Yep. Look, she'd roll in it or something.
This is completely off topic, but my friend, she had on our TikTok today that she has a Roomba, like a self vacuum, and it was on the carpet. Well, her dog got diarrhea on the carpet and it went through it and literally tracked diarrhea all over her carpet. Like, oh my gosh, I could not imagine coming home. Like, we have 2 rooms of carpet, but I was like,
Yeah, I think my sister-in-law had that happen, like legit in her house.
yeah,
I'm
nope.
pretty sure the Roomba went in the trash because it was like not cleanable.
Yeah, I don't know what you do. It'd get all in the nails and the frilly things.
Can't really wash it.
Hey, hey guys, these are waves.
Hey, Liz. Okay, we've got about 2 minutes left of this. And this you could also call like checking into your groups, right? Check the team page, check, kind of just check everything out and see if you've missed anything. Because we were talking earlier, Amanda and I, and we like groups, but it's also difficult because, yeah. Sarah, I cannot, you're cutting in and out. The dang computer, always.
Testing?
No,
Oh, yeah.
your
Yeah.
headphones. It must pick it up in your headphones.
Yeah, I just figured out how to connect these to Jared's computer. So yay, you guys can hear me?
Yeah, like normal.
Yes, cool. Yeah, when you were first telling the story of my dog, I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to disrupt anybody, but he's being a little shit right now. Like absolutely terrible this morning. But I'm like trying to bake cupcakes and he's just being a monster. And then literally I was taking like 20 pictures with my new golden scoop. And as soon as I got the good one and was texting you back, I hear a crunch and I turn around and he has the golden scoop in his mouth. But luckily it's just like cracked down the side.
Oh yeah.
So I can still use it. You don't have to worry about sending me one, but that's so nice of you.
Fine. I have an extra one just hanging out.
Well, thanks. All right, and are we still going into Facebook, into groups right now and recognizing achievement?
Yes, but
Okay.
for negative seconds. My timer
Yeah,
just
got
went. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get the hard shit out of the way. We are going to, my dogs are hearing your dog bark and now they're freaking out. It's so funny. Berkeley, you're okay. Such a big bad dog he is. We are going to spend 15 minutes inviting. Okay, so set your timer. I am challenging you all to send at least 5 invites. Okay, I would like everyone to try. I mean, if you go more than that, you go. I send invites like a machine when I have a timer on because I like want to race the clock. But send at least 5 invites. So I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes and then I will also talk a little bit about who I'm inviting along the way. So I go on first and the invite doesn't have to necessarily be just like, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? I can send the example of what I'm saying right now. Let me find that and drop it in the chat for you. But I go on anyone who has liked my post, anyone who has watched my stories, anyone who's commented. This goes on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. To me, that is telling me, like they're doing that. That's telling me that they want to know more, or like they are seeing what I'm doing. They're interacting with me, right? It gives me the A-OK to talk to them about it. And it doesn't have to be, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? But one thing, you could say to them is, thank you so much for liking my post about my Job 1 workouts. I'm so excited about the new gut health program coming out that launches on Tuesday. I have a free sample workout. The program is 4 days a week for 30 minutes. Could I send the sample your way? Something simple like that. What I'm sending you is what I also sent in Level Up, and it's geared towards, this is what I sent to my current challengers. I sent it to every single one of my challengers. So obviously change it, because I wouldn't say, I don't know how much you've seen about the 4 weeks for everybody program, because if I haven't been posting about it, like I that doesn't make sense to someone who's not a challenger of mine. But mentioning to people it's 4 days a week, it's 4 weeks long, and I would even mention that it's 30 minutes long, and talking about like how it's the main thing about gut health is it is for everyone. Like that's why it's called 4 weeks for everybody, because it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. So that's something I'm really talking to people about. And I wouldn't say, have you tried the sample? Because again, this is like, I have some challengers who have seen it on BOD and tried it. But I would say something about like, I have a free sample workout. It's 25 minutes long. I'd love to send it your way and get some feedback from you. Can I shoot that over? So then if they say, yep, I would send it over there. Right? Okay, here's another thing that I want to remind you. While during this 15 minutes, if you're sending invites, you are not responding back to any messages. So if you get a response back from a message, just wait. Don't like respond right away, because then it just throws us off and we go down a loophole and we're not focused on, if we focus on one thing at a time, we're a lot more efficient at it than not. Okay, so that's an example there. Okay, I'm going to shut up because I need to send my invites. Does anyone, if anyone has questions too during this time about inviting, like if you, Jenna, Peyton, anyone, hey, Mackenzie hopped on. I didn't see that Mackenzie hopped on. If you have questions at any point, like this is a great time to ask them. So you can drop them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and let me know if you're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
So I do have a question.
Yes.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes.
But I have a person who I've been chatting with. She's my cousin, and like she's been interested in Beachbody, and she's like messaged me about it, and we've been talking about it. And so then when I asked her like if she had any more questions, she's like, well, my sister just gave me her login, but I just can't seem to do the workouts. Like I don't know where to go. Like how do I kindly say, like, you can join my accountability group if you are my challenger?
Yeah, I do this all the time. I politely say, I am so happy that you have access to the workouts. If you are wanting more accountability, you're wanting one-on-one coaching, I would love to have you join as my challenger. We can discuss options if you're interested in that, but my accountability groups are closed to only my challengers because it takes a lot of time for me to pour into them. And I just want to make sure that I am, I guess, I don't know how I would, that last sentence, right? Like, so I only open it up to people who are my clients so that I am serving them. Because, right, like if we opened it up, which when I was a new coach, I opened it up to a lot of people, but now that I'm not a new coach, like you have to be my challenger, because like, it'd be like, I'm trying to find a good example, but teaching's not a good example because we do a lot of stuff without getting paid. But it's like, that would be like going and working at Runnings, but not getting paid to work there. Like, I'm going to help you pick everything out and I'm going to help you do everything, but not. So I typically just politely, okay, this is what I would say. I'm rambling too much. I would say, you know, I'm glad you have Beachbody and access to Beachbody. I would love to chat options for you to get your own account so you can track your own workouts. You get access to nutrition, you get access to new programs, and you get access to our accountability groups and my one-on-one coaching. I do require my clients that I help to have an account through me so that I can see their stuff and I can help them to the best of my ability.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, if you want to finish up your last invite, drop how many in the chat. Drop how many invites you got done in the chat. It's okay if you didn't get your 5, but I want to see what you guys got. 7. Oh, awesome. I got 4. So you did better than me.
I had a question.
Yes.
So how long do you wait till like reach back out? Like I reached out to somebody and then I followed up with them and I didn't hear anything. So like how long do you normally wait until you reach out to them?
So like my rule is typically every 3 months. That's a personal rule. I feel like if I do right, some people in Beachbody will tell you every month. Every month you can reach back out to them. I personally realize how fast a month goes by. So to me, a month seems too quick and I just want you to join. I just want you to join. Like, I think of how our launches are set up. Okay. So this month, right on the 15th, we have Fire and Flow, we have Gut Protocol. Then I'll probably re-invite people with Fire and Flow in May, and then I'll re-invite people in July. I know it's going to be called Lift More. I am determined. And if that's not the name, I'm going to be so mad because Joel has said Lift More 20,000 times. So I'm convinced that it's going to be, what is it, a sequel when it's like the second book? Is it a sequel? Okay. It's like the sequel to Lift Forward. I think it'll be Lift More. So I'll re-invite then. If I have something new to invite to or something different, like if I had a promo code or something like that, and I just invited someone last month, I'd invite them again. So it just is what feels right to you. There are people I have religiously invited every 3 months for 2 years and they still haven't signed up, but they still haven't told me to F off. So we're just rolling.
Now, is this like you invite them completely new, or like even if they're, I guess, like I have some girls that like I message every like, I don't know, 3 days or so because they're continually watching like my whole entire story. Like they're not replying back at all. They haven't said no. But yet if I didn't message them every couple of days, I wouldn't have anybody else to message.
So then I think the big thing is maybe you shift your focus on, instead of spending 5 minutes adding people, you're spending 10, 15 minutes adding and connecting to new people. For me, I have enough people where I'm able to invite, and I wouldn't call them new, but I have people that I'm messaging every 2 to 3 months to invite. I'm not messaging them like every 3 days. I know if I got a message every 3 days, I'd be like, why are you doing this? And so I would look into then, if you are feeling stuck, like you don't have enough people to invite, it means that you need to reverse engineer it. And you need to know, okay, if I'm trying to send 10 invites a day, or maybe 5 or whatever, then I need to add 20 to 30 people a day, and I need to spend more time connecting. You know, if you say, well, if I connect with 10 new people a day, that's going to be 10 new invites I can send. So I would reverse engineer that and figure out what you need to do to get more people to invite. Okay. Does that answer your question? I assume so. Okay. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is spend 10 minutes following up. So follow-ups are where the money is. This is checking back in with people. I'm going to go back in personally and see who have I sent the sample workout to of Gut Protocol, and check in with them, see if they've had a chance to try it, see what they thought of it. This is good too if you send voice messages for invites, checking to see if they've listened to it. Even if you send a normal invite, like a text invite, honestly, I would just check in, see like, hey, I'm just checking in to see if you, you know, sometimes I open messages and forget to respond, just checking in to see if that was the case. It's totally fine if you're not interested, but just wanted to make sure you didn't miss the chance to get in this new program or something like that is probably what I'd follow up with. So I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes. So I guess follow up to try to focus on people that you can connect with that you've invited. And I guess too, if you wanted to count responding to messages in this, you could. But typically I wait to respond to messages till I'm done with like everything, because I don't want to get in a conversation. Like if someone's back and forth with me about a group, I don't want to get stuck in that conversation for 10 minutes and not do any following up with people who I need to do. So
I forget, did we already mention, as I was going through some messages, did we mention already about the like story bit that she recommended last night? How you like swipe all the way to the other side?
Yes. So she talked about going to the end of stories so that you interact with new people. And the OCD human in me, I tried that, but I couldn't figure out, because then you get kicked out. Like if you watch the last one, you get kicked out and you have to like click on it again. So to me, I was annoyed because I couldn't just like keep clicking through. So that was just something personally that I was like, I'm just going to click through a bunch of these and get to people I don't usually see. And so, yes, she made the suggestion of going back to the end and then going through those people at the end because they're people you don't usually talk to or see. So that's a good tip.
Yeah, it is weird to go all the way to the end. It just doesn't work great. But I've done that for a long time. Like go to the middle, like just scroll away
middle's good.
past, like
Yeah.
all the people that like post 1 million stories a day. Like, because I like some of the bigger accounts, but they automatically get boosted to the top of your list because they post so much more.
Yep.
So
I love
try
that
to
idea.
slide
I
to
also like going through my messages and watching the people's stories that like I've messaged recently. Because obviously if I'm trying to start a conversation with them, I should probably know what's going on with their life too.
Yep. I do that too. And you can actually, there's different ways to do it. I haven't found the most efficient way, but you can like, if you go to a post and you click on who watched it, this circle around them means that they have stories. So you could like go through and go down that and watch them. That's another way I've done it because obviously, like Sarah said, they're liking my posts. So then I can go interact with them if they're interacting with my stuff. The only thing I've noticed is sometimes people will have stories, but the little bubble doesn't show up around them. So I don't know. Psychos. Trying to teach my dogs to stop barking at everything that moves in the outdoors. Doesn't work. We've got about 30 seconds left if you want to wrap up your conversations. Okay, that is our timer. I'm going to murder them. What I would like to do next is I want to spend 10 minutes checking in with challengers. So this challengers or coaches, this is like directly messaging them, asking how they're doing, asking, you know, how are their products. I have gotten very direct. I used to just message people and be like, how are things going? They'd be like, yeah, things are great. You know, okay, well, they're talking about their whole life. So now I get really specific and I say like, how are your workouts going? Or how, and then if they say their workouts are good, okay, how is if they bought a solution pack, how are your supplements going? I try to ask these direct questions because I've learned a lot of people stop using supplements simply because they don't know how to use them. They don't know how to mix their Shakeology. They don't have a good recipe. I'll use the example of Jasmine again. Like Jasmine and I were talking, she's like, I cannot get myself to like Shakeology. And I'm like, okay, how are you mixing it? Well, I just put the chocolate in some water and mix it. And I'm like, oh, no, don't do that. Like awful. People who can do that, God bless your soul. I think it's an acquired taste. Whenever, you know, so I try to talk to people who are energized, right? People are like, you know, it says to mix with 8 ounces, but like, I can't choke it down. I'm like, mix it with more water, right? Like people, if they're a rule follower like me, like they might be like, well, I have to make it by the label, and they just don't know, or they might want to try something else. So go back in, talk to your people. The other thing, if you're like, I don't have a lot of people, or I've checked in with my people recently, which it's never too many times to check in with them, right? Like the more you check in with them, you're just doing your job of keeping them accountable. So even if you talk to them like 2 days ago, I don't care. Invite them. Another way to check in, invite them to 4 weeks of gut health. I posted that invite right there, which I sent to all of my challengers. So I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes, and I encourage you to go in and check in with your people, send them some motivation or anything like that.
If we needed any more information, that having a toddler is like, child is like dogs. They also climb on top of you like dogs, right?
And bark a lot.
She screams a lot.
That was my equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
So at least my dog I can hit. I mean, a child you're not supposed to hit. I shouldn't have said that on a recording. I don't hit them. I discipline them.
Nothing wrong with that. When we get slack on discipline, that's when things get bad. So it's a good thing to do.
We've got about 6 minutes. Are people still having people to follow up with, or are we done with that portion? I don't want to sit for like 10 minutes if people are like, nope, I'm good, move on. Good? Okay. So the last thing that we are going to do is post. So here's 2 things I want you to do is I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. I know that it's 4:59. I talk a lot, but I want you to spend just a few minutes. I want you to post on your story something, right? It could be, I'm going to personally post a boomerang of you ladies and us working. Okay. You could post anything you want, but post on your stories. I would encourage you, if you have not talked about 4 weeks for everybody and gut health yet today, I highly encourage you to talk about that and to put a call to action in your stories. Call to action is something like, if you want more details, vote on my poll. If you want to learn what foods trigger your stomach problems, swipe. If you are looking at a workout program that is perfect for beginners and that is 4 weeks long, 4 days a week, 30 minutes, shoot me a message for details, right? But a call to action is something specific you want them to do. You want to specifically do something, okay? So I'm gonna mute myself. Once you are done with that, I want you to drop in the chat, done, because then I know when everyone's done and we can move on to our last thing. One thing while you guys finish up that I wanted to mention is I forgot to mention this when I follow up with challengers. I always go in and look at my subscription orders. Do you guys want me to share my screen quick and show you how to check subscription orders? Or do you guys know how to do that? Peyton and Jenna? Kind of. Okay. All you do, I'm not going to share my screen quick. All you do is in your coach office, go to report. And then under customers and orders, there's subscription orders. And I just go in and I look who has a subscription coming up because I always try to message people before it ships. I've got about a 99% success rate. Sometimes I forget and they get shipped and I just message them and say, if you did not want this, or, I'm sorry, I forgot to message you. If you don't want it, you can send it back within 30 days and get a full refund. Most people don't want to bother sending it back, so it's not a big deal, but I hate people getting product and then being like, I didn't want this. Why didn't you tell me? And so that's always my biggest fear. So I use it as a great way to check in. So that's too something I do during following up with challengers and checking in with them. Okay. So the last thing, we're not going to stay on here to do this, but it's writing a post and making a post. I don't count this typically in my tracker because it honestly sometimes takes me 5 to 10 minutes, or I have to do a reel or something like that. It just depends on. A lot of times too, I post them, I guess it's 5 o'clock. I try to post mine around like anywhere between 5 and 7, because I think that's a common time for people to be on and checking. But that is our power hour. Like, you just knocked out your entire tracker. I hope that it helps you understand, like, when I sit down to work, this is what I do. And so I'm going to try to do more of these as time goes on. Shane is moving here in about 2 weeks. And so then too, I'll have a lot more evenings free. It's just, as people know, like, obviously when your significant other's home, like, they want to spend time with you or something. I don't know, kind of weird, but I love it. Like, I'm someone who I'm like, I can see you for like an hour and I'm good. Shane is like, no, the minute I get home, I want your undivided attention for the rest of the evening. I'm glad Peyton feels me. And so I'm excited to be able to offer power hours. Like, I'm probably going to set a time every single night to hop on with people. So yeah, thank you guys for hopping on. I can't wait to see how your weekend goes and how this power hour helps you out. And so thanks for hopping on. Have a good weekend.